I'm Jennifer Stanasi. You're watching News 24 Live. I'm sitting down with American acapella troupe Naturally 7 in Cape Town. Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Now, I got into some trouble here for my comments on a piece of clothing.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna be instant. No, there's no trouble. There's no trouble.
no trouble. I really like your sweater.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Do you guys love it?
We do.
No one. Why?
Because it looks like he's doesn't have his pajama bottom.
I'm working on them. Those are on layaway.
We had an early call this morning, so he just made.
I came straight from bed. Yeah, I just rolled out of bed and just that was funny, guys.
I like it. I like it. You have pajamas that work for everything.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
universal.
Yes, exactly.
All right, you guys are sitting down with me here in Cape Town. Have you been to South Africa before?
This is our second time.
Your second time.
Second time.
And are you loving it?
We having a great time. We're having a great time. You like it?
Have you done any sightseeing?
We did a little sightseeing last time and a little bit when we were in Durban, but this time our time is just so short, so we're not going to get a chance to see anything this time.
Yeah, it was
Garfield-
tabletop.
Garfield, you went to-
Mountain.
You went to the top of Table Mountain.
Yeah, Table Mountain.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible up there.
Loved it.
I want to know about how 7 talented people like yourselves found each other.
It's Warren and our brothers. This is Roger speaking, and everybody else was a friend of a friend. We've known each other for a long time, but no one is further removed than a friend of mine specifically. So it's kind of a blessing that we're able to do what we do, and that's kind of how we came together. And like minds saying, let's create something that is different, so we can kind of have our own space. We got tired of anybody saying, you kind of remind me of this or remind me of that, and we decided to do something that would be, wow, I've never heard anything like that. So we're kind of liking the space we're in now.
Tell me, is it hard to be an a cappella troupe right now?
Hard.
Are people?
When you say it's hard?
Do you find that people don't really understand what they're going to get
Well,
when they hear
well,
a
well,
cappella?
and when it comes to, I will say, Naturally 7, it is that has been a challenge because people have these expectations of what a cappella should be, and whether it should sound maybe like doo-wop or it should sound like barbershop, but our style is so different that it's for someone trying to explain it to someone without seeing it or even hearing it, it's a challenge. It's really hard to understand until you get a chance to experience it.
It's such an incredible experience. I mean, you just performed for us before we started this interview, and it made me so happy. So I can just imagine how you make your audiences feel on such a large scale. It's incredible. Tell me about your influences. You guys are from New York.
The thing that we all have in common is that we're from the church, and so gospel is definitely something we all have in common. But on hip hop, coming from New York, birthplace of hip hop, that's definitely in there. So just infuse those music. And we got jazz, we got R&B, a little rock. Try to put it all in there.
We really like the pioneers, people that have really, made their own thing happen. Like if it's somebody like Outkast or Lauryn Hill, or just people that just have their own thing. So we kind of respect that, and there's always somebody doing that. So they continue to inspire us. We're constantly checking YouTube, looking for more inspiration. Anybody that's on their own path, we like that.
Now, I've always wanted to ask beatboxers this question. How on earth do you find out you can make these noises with your mouth?
Oh.
Is it something you train yourself to do? Is it something you're born with? How do you figure that out?
When there's nothing, you can't, the real instrument's not there to play, so you kind of, trying to mess around with in your mind, and your mouth starts to figure out what your mind is trying to tell it.
Well, deep down, we think that everybody really does this. Deep down. So if someone's driving in their car, their favorite song is on, and then it goes to some instrumental section, usually they don't stop. Now, if it's a guitar solo or it's a horn line or whatever, they just start doing whatever comes to mind. We've just taken it one step further and taken it out of the shower, out of the car, and decided to do it in front of people, and then kind of, just kind of perfect it. So it's a little bit of the two things you said. In a way, you have to be kind of born with it because based on the range. Like if you're a bass, you have to have a lower set voice or a trombone or something like that. If you're gonna do high sounds, you have to kind of have a high voice. But other than that, you got to work at it a little bit and develop it so it's worthy of doing in front of somebody.
And it's almost better because you have no instruments, so less things can go wrong on stage. Hey.
Well,
in a manner of
see the
speaking, yes.
logic, yeah.
By that reaction, I imagine, I can only assume that some things have gone wrong on stage.
I mean, what it is, you are dealing with now a human voice, as opposed to, say, for example, you have an instrument that, or there's a keyboard. Once it's set, once it's turned on the plug, I can hit this note right here, and it's going to sound like that note every time. The voice can be somewhat more subjective, unpredictable.
Delicate.
Yeah. So so sometimes keys may fluctuate, but you have to learn to move with it, So it's definitely it has its advantages, but there's sometimes there are its challenges as well.
Now, what's a rehearsal session with Naturally 7 like?
Any chance we possibly get.
Really?
When we get home, we try not to see each other at all.
Really?
Oh, without question. Last person I want to see is any of the other chicks. If they came to my house, I say, "What are you doing here?" No, because we're on the road so much together. So we record, we rehearse, we go over everything, choreography, everything takes place on the road. So in our rehearsals, I think that outside of the debates that we have in the rehearsals, I think it would be very interesting for a reality show.